Ringo Starr truly hated her more than anyone, yet his story is one of forgiveness, resilience, and transformation. Born Richard Starkey on July 7, 1940, in the working-class district of Dingle, Liverpool, England, Ringo rose from hardship to become one of the most loved musicians in history. His childhood was marked by illness and poverty, spending months in hospitals recovering from peritonitis and tuberculosis. But it was during those long, lonely days that he found rhythm, tapping on tables and bedpans, unaware he was shaping his future as a world-class drummer. Before fame, Ringo worked as an apprentice joiner and factory machine operator, but music called him back every time. He started playing with local bands until he joined Rory Storm in the Hurricanes, where his energy behind the drums made him stand out. Then in 1962, destiny knocked when the Beatles dismissed Pete Best and invited Ringo to join John Lennon, Paul McCartney, and George Harrison, completing the lineup that would change music forever. As the Beatles' drummer, Ringo became known for his rock-solid timing and creativity, giving life to songs like Ticket to Ride, Rain, and A Day in the Life. Though often in the background, his charm, humor, and humility made him a fan favorite. He even took the mic for hits like Yellow Submarine and With a Little Help from My Friends, showing the world his warmth and gentle spirit. When the Beatles broke up in 1970, Ringo refused to fade away. His solo career proved he was more than just a drummer, with hits like Photograph and You're 16 topping charts around the world. He later acted in films such as Caveman, That'll Be the Day, and The Magic Christian, and lent his voice to Thomas the Tank Engine, becoming a beloved figure for children and adults alike. Even in his later years, he continued to tour with his all-star band, spreading his message of peace, love, and unity. But behind the fame was a personal life marked by love, heartbreak, and redemption. Ringo's first marriage to Maureen Cox, a Liverpool hairdresser, began during the height of Beatlemania. They married in 1965, surrounded by screaming fans and flashing cameras. But behind the glamour, Maureen was his grounding force, protecting their family life from the chaos of fame. They had 3 children, Zach, Jason, and Lee, one of whom, Zach, followed his father's path as a drummer. However, fame, distance, and Ringo's battle with alcohol eventually tore them apart. Their marriage ended in 1975, though their bond through their children remained. When Maureen died of leukemia in 1994, Ringo was by her side, mourning the woman who had once been his anchor. In 1980, fate brought him to Barbara Bach, a former Bond girl he met while filming Caveman. Their connection was instant, and within a year they married. Barbara's strength helped Ringo overcome his addiction struggles, and together they rebuilt their lives with quiet dignity and shared purpose. Their love endured through decades, grounded in mutual support and humanitarian work. They became symbols of lasting love in a world of fleeting fame. Yet Ringo's story also carried deep wounds, particularly with George Harrison, the quiet Beatle he once considered a brother. Over time, jealousy, creative frustration, and personal betrayal fractured that bond. Though Ringo was known as the peacekeeper of the group, George's distant nature often made him feel like an outsider. Things worsened during the later Beatles years, as egos clashed and exhaustion set in. But the real heartbreak came in the early 1970s when Ringo discovered that George had briefly been involved with his then-wife, Maureen. The betrayal shattered him. "I felt betrayed," Ringo admitted years later. "It wasn't just about a woman, it was about trust." George, who was also married at the time, brushed off the confrontation with a cold remark, "All things must pass." That line, referencing his own album, cut Ringo deeply. He avoided George for months, furious and hurt beyond words. "I hated him for what he did," Ringo confessed, "and that hate stayed with me for a long time." But time, as it often does, softened his heart. When George fell ill with cancer decades later, Ringo visited him, leaving anger behind. "I told him I loved him," Ringo said quietly. In that moment, years of resentment dissolved. George smiled, took his hand, and peace finally settled between them. When George Harrison passed away in 2001, Ringo's words captured everything. George was my brother. I might have hated him once, but I never stopped loving him. That confession revealed the truth of their bond. Painful, complicated, but unbreakable. It showed that even legends are human, and even broken friendships can find healing in love. Ringo Starr's journey, from a sickly boy in Liverpool to one of the most influential drummers in history, is one of survival, forgiveness, and grace. Through every high and low, he remained a symbol of hope and resilience. His message to the world remains simple yet powerful: peace and love. And that perhaps is Ringo's greatest legacy of all. If you enjoyed this story of friendship, fame, and redemption, make sure to subscribe to Hollywood Bulletin and press the bell icon so you never miss another powerful story from the golden days of music and film.